What is going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Trader podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're joined by the $500,000 coach, Clayton Snyder. Now, before we get into today's podcast, we just launched our Black Friday sale. Here's how it works, all right? We are offering 40% off Black Friday extensions for the 10K Mastermind and the Millionaire Mastermind. We're also offering 40% off for anybody that's in the CLA that wants to upgrade to the 10K Mastermind, or anybody that's in the 10K Mastermind that wants to upgrade to the Millionaire Mastermind. We're calling this Ascension Week. So if you're in our coaching programs and you want to go to the next level, Ascension Week, you not only do you get 40% off, you also are going to get entered to win a $15,000 trip to come out and see Cole and myself, all expenses paid. We're going to drive around in the Lambo, drive around in the Audi R8, do a podcast together, do a workout, and fucking coaching session. So if you're in the 10K Mastermind or the Millionaire Mastermind, DM me on Instagram or Facebook, upgrade or renewal, and let's chat about it. Without further ado, we got Clayton Snyder, the $500,000 coach. What's up, G?
Let's fucking go. I'm really excited to be here in round 3. I'm excited to deliver some value, hopefully help some people get some takeaways so that way they can start seeing some more success.
Beautiful. I love it. Are you in Cali with Fatty still?
I'm in San Diego. I'm at a waterfront penthouse Airbnb. We made $7,000 in 24 hours yesterday from this exact spot. It's been an awesome trip. I actually came out and saw you. We had dinner. Went to the Dan Martell event. So I was like, hey, while I'm out here, might as well fly over to California because I love California. So that's the beauty of what we do, right? You know, you can do it from anywhere in the world and still, be able to make an impact and, make a great living while doing it.
So Fatty also just tuned in. So Fatty, what's up? Can't get enough of Clayton. Had to tune into his live stream too. That's hilarious. So out of curiosity, before we get into the backstory, I want to know how your life is right now. So talk to me about how much money you're making. Talk to me about the lifestyle that you live in. Talk to me about like what online coaching has done for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, like this whole year has just been a complete 360 compared to the other 3, that I've been doing it. This year we're averaging, anywhere. It's been 70K a month consistently, like every single month for like the last 4 to 5 months, and basically with the lifestyle that I'm living, I've been able to buy a Z06, a C8 Z06. I've been able to buy a new truck. Just last week, I bought a TRX truck because my other truck was giving me some issues.
So you just bought a brand new truck. Fuck it.
Yeah, it was, it was also due. It was also due, and it's a good write-off, for this year as well. Something I did need to do after talking to my accountant. He was like, hey, we need to start spending some money, basically, or else it's all going to go to the government. So, and yeah, dude, I'm just living a lifestyle of freedom. Like, I have a business that, allows me to do stuff like this, to travel to where, I don't have to be so in the weeds of the business, so much to where like I'm not doing every little task and working 14 to 15 hours a day. Like I'm actually like really, really healthy. I'm enjoying my life. Outside of some health stuff last week, I've been in a really, really good spot with my health and to where I've been able to sleep really good. My relationship's the best it's ever been. And it's all been a result of just, solving my own trauma, my own stuff that I've been going through, which has then translated to me showing up as a better version of myself, which has allowed me to live just a very, very abundant lifestyle. And I know next year it's going to be even better than this year because we really started to really only pick up steam, with the plan I put in place from January 1st. Like the 6 month mark into this year is when you started to see the massive months. And that was really all the fruit, of my work really came into fruition like halfway through this year.
So can I ask you a direct question?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Oh, you want to know why I asked that?
Why?
Because I feel like so many people think that when you start making more money, that it like fucking ruins your quality of life.
It's the complete opposite. It allows you to have more freedom. It allows you to be able to enjoy more experiences. It allows you to help other people. It allows you to do things for others and honestly, like the few things that I've bought this year, like when I bought the 2 cars and I bought this other stuff, like just 2 months ago, my girlfriend's been applying for jobs and she was having a really, really tough time with her laptop. Like her laptop's like 10 years old. She's had it since like college.
Yeah.
And like, it was just freezing consistently. And the next day I was like, I'm just gonna go to Best Buy and buy her a laptop, like, because I can do this. And like doing that and like seeing like how that made her feel and it allows her to be actually able to apply for more jobs to get something that she's more passionate about. Like that brought me more fulfillment than the other stuff that I bought this year. Like that felt so much better being able to do something like that for her, just because I love her so much. I want to see her like do the absolute best that she can inside of her life. But something like that just brought a lot more fulfillment. And I think a lot of people, and this is a limiting belief that I had when it came to around finances and when it came to around the money mindset, like I thought that in order for me to get more, like that I had to sacrifice, like, that I had to basically grind myself, that I had to grind myself off the ground. But like, what I've learned though, is a lot of people will be like, hey, Clayton, like, how are you doing these months? How are you doing these crazy high months? And I'm telling people, I'm like, hey, like when you have a team, like, and you have a strong foundation, like it's easier. Like, and that might sound weird. It becomes easier because you have more leverage and you're able to invest more in your business and to create more time for yourself and to buy back more time, so that way you can focus on doing what you're best at. And if you're consistently doing things that you hate inside of your business and you're at a point to where you can delegate, like you're going to be stuck there, and you have to be willing to let go of control. And a lot of people have that mindset of like, oh, like I'm not going to let go of control because then it's going to eat into my profits. And it's like, that's just not the case.
So like, this is fucking super interesting to me because the way that I see this is there's so many people that like, I think people get stuck in this idea of like hiring people because first things first is like most people think that in order to make more money, you need to sacrifice more because that's the entire world that we were brought up in. Like if you're working a 9 to 5 for somebody else right now, the only way that you make more money is by working more hours. And that theme is consistent, whether you're an in-person trainer or you're an accountant or you're a lawyer or like whatever. It's like, in order to make more money, I need to work more hours. So many people have this like resistance to making more money because they don't want to basically work more hours. And I think that that is true to a certain extent when you're an online coach, like, especially when you're first getting your business off the ground, like the grind to get yourself to $10,000 to $15,000 a month. It's like a fucking process. Like it's not easy. And that's why we've worked with 10,000 coaches and like 370 of them have hit 10K a month because like, it's like, it requires work ethic. The blueprint's been proven, but you need to put in the fucking work. And so for you, like when you started getting to that $10,000 to $15,000 a month range and you realized that you started having to hire more people, can you talk to me a little bit about some of the struggles that you went through with like maybe your first or second hire? Because that's the biggest fear that people have is like, I don't want to hire people because I don't want to give them my money. What if my business goes under? Now I'm responsible for somebody else. So like, what were your struggles when you first started hiring people?
So when I first started hiring people, the first person I hired was an assistant coach to help me out on the back end. And, she actually did a really, really good job for me for about a year. And then she started going through some personal stuff on her end to where, tasks, really started to slip consistently. And then I also had a VA at the time who the leads were there and, it just wasn't going as good as, as it should be. And to be honest, like during that time period inside of my life, I wasn't the leader I should have been as well.
What do you mean by that?
Like the leader that I shouldn't have been.
Yep.
Like I wasn't showing up for myself consistently. Like I wasn't putting out great content. I wasn't putting in the reps. I wasn't training my team consistently. So, a lot of people have a fear around hiring because like, well, what if this person takes my money or what if they just don't perform well? And it's like, if that's the case, that's your fault, because as you're a leader, it's like, if you're not training them consistently, if you're not showing up for them consistently, if you're not putting out high quality content, you're not continually developing yourself as a leader, like doing other things. Like that's why I just flew out to Dan Martell's workshop. I was like, hey, like I want to learn from one of the top entrepreneurs in the world, like of how he leads different people. And it's like, so you have to continually sharpen your tool belt, as a leader itself and be able to have other people buy into that vision. Because if they're not bought into you, they don't believe in you that this thing's going to actually continue to grow, then like they're not going to give you your 110%, when it comes to everything. So it's like, if you're not putting out new content consistently, if you're just reposting old content consistently and never trying to resharpen that area inside of your business, if you're not seeing how you can up your delivery, if you're not getting your clients really, really good results, and it's all goes together. And it's like, if you're at that 10 to 15 mark and you're listening to this and you're like, hey, like I want to get to 40 to 60 to 100, you can't do it on your own. You simply can't. Like you have to have team and you have to have help. Because if you do start to hit those higher months by yourself, you're going to hate your life because you are going to be doing it all yourself.
Yeah.
You have to realize like you have to make sure that you are good mentally and that you actually have energy and you're doing the things that you enjoy. Because if you hate doing check-ins and then you start adding a ton of clients and you're like, oh, like I don't want to do any more check-ins, you're going to have a resistance around bringing on more clients because that results in you having to do a crowd ton more check-ins. If you hate DMs and then you're going viral on social media and you can only do 20 to 40 a day on your own, like with actually intentional conversations, that's going to bottleneck you because you need someone to be able to help you shell out all those other conversations. And it's like, also ask yourself that too. It's like, you're running a business. Like that's not going to be sustainable for yourself if you're doing everything on your own and say you do want to go on a trip. And it's like the second you stop working, the second everything's going to stop working as well. And this is just speaking to, and some people are really okay with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, I want more, like I want to be able to really build a business that can grow and scale to these higher months. Like that's just what it's going to take. It's going to take you to develop as a leader and like really put your personal development, like, really the number one priority it should be.
Yeah. I literally, everybody on my team, I have the mindset. I'm like, you need to be working harder on yourself than you do on the business because that's how I operate. Like I work harder on
Mhm.
myself than I do my business. Like if I look at my calendar, dude, like, yeah, I work like 12 to 14 hours a day, but like 4 to 6 of those hours are like self-development. Like I do an hour long morning ritual. I spend an hour and a half at the gym. I usually do like an hour of hypnosis or an hour of acupuncture or an hour of chiro. Like I spend a lot of time on me because I know that I need to bring the best version of me to my team, the best version of me to these podcasts, the best version of me to my coaching clients, etc. Now, for everybody listening, like as you guys can tell, Clayton has a very high IQ when it comes to business now. You've got like a fucking really good handle on like how to grow, how to scale, what ads work, all that shit. So but I know for a fact you weren't always like that because I know you were my client. And I remember when you started your fucking Instagram that now has almost 50,000. Does it have more than 50,000 now? Where are we at?
It's at like 45, like right
45.
around there.
So we're going to be at 50,000 followers. So, but I
I was
remember
at
when
6 at the beginning of this year.
6. Okay. So literally 6 fucking followers. So, and now we're at where we're at right now, which is, 45,000. So what was it like? How did you turn in the guy that had 0 followers to the guy that has 44,000? How did you go from the guy that was in the CLA that was like making $1,000 to $2,000 a month for a few months to the guy that's pulling in $70,000 on average per month for your coaching business? Like how did you make that happen?
It's a really, really good question. And I honestly think I know we just talked a lot about personal development, and I'm always listening to positivity in my ears, even when I'm not working. And I've come to the realization as of late that that's not really normal, that a lot of people don't do that. Like I'm literally, whenever I'm not working, like I either have your YouTube channel playing, like your podcast playing, like I'm listening to Dan Martell's YouTube channel, Alex Ramosi, like I'm always consistently looking to people who are where I want to be inside of my life. And I'm inputting their knowledge, into my ears. Like even when I first wake up, like when I'm driving to the gym in the morning, I have a podcast playing. Like when I'm doing
Yep.
cardio, I'm always learning and having positivity, into my ears. Because if you are continually surrounding yourself with people with where you want to be and, people who you want to be around, it's like you're eventually going to become that because you're going to start to think like them.
Yep.
And I used to think that it used to be like you needed this crazy growth strategy for Instagram and you needed like the secret hack to grow your following and to grow your income. And it's like, it's really not that. It's really like, do you have the willingness to show up each week, like in and out, and be willing like for stuff to not be perfect? Like I used to not want to film content like all the time, or like I'd film something, I'm like, that's not really going to do that well. Compared to now, it's like I film every single week. And sometimes I make a video and I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't really know how that video is going to do, but I'm going to post it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm willing for stuff to flop. Like I'm willing for stuff to not turn out how I want it to, because
Mm-hmm.
all I know is I'm still showing up consistently and not everything's going to be perfect all the time. And I know I spoke about this at the event when I was on stage and a lot of people resonated with it. But one of my first ever mentors at a conference I was at said, done is better than perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I do live by a lot. And I feel like a lot of people could probably adopt that mindset around content, or they could adopt that mindset just around how they're operating on a day-to-day basis, that every little thing doesn't need to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be okay just ruthlessly showing up consistently week in and week out. Because after doing this, like now for 6 to 8, like this year specifically is like just been the absolute best version of myself I know so far. I obviously have a ton of room to grow.
Yeah.
But I know not that many people are showing up that consistently.
Yep.
And that's why the room to succeed is like so like anyone can do it. Like
Yep.
anyone, like if I
Yep.
could do what I'm doing right now, like anyone could do it. Like all it takes is just like a ruthless amount of consistency over an extended time period.
Yep.
But it's like not that many people are willing to do that because they let their emotions get in the way. They let little other things like really derail them, because you're going to get punched in the face. Like you're going to.
Mm-hmm. This is fucking brilliant. And I love it. There was something that I really wanted to ask you in regards to, it's going to come back to me. So the way that you show up, I think shows up in your business. And for those of you guys that are outside of the coaching program, I'm going to give you a little bit of like a insight into how Clayton Snyder is. Clayton Snyder, I do a coaching call every week in the Millionaire Mastermind called Convos with B. And on this coaching call, I've been, this is my coaching call. I've ran it, there was a period in time where I didn't run it for 6 months, but that's besides the point. We're not talking about that. But for the last, 12 to 18 months, I've been there every single week on Tuesday. I'll spend 3 hours with my clients if I need to, like to make sure that I'm always answering every question that you guys have so everyone can make more money. Just giving you guys access to my brains. And Clayton is always on Combos with B, and he always is the first person to have his hand up. Sorry, guys, in the Millionaire Mastermind, you guys suck at putting your hands up. Clayton's really fast. But I want to know, like, what's that switch? Because, like, if I could get, we have 1,100 members in the CLA. We've got 400 in the onboarding group. We've got 170 in the 10K mastermind. We've got 130 in the millionaire mastermind. If I can get those clients to show up consistently for themselves and actually put in the fucking work like you are, like, dude, all of them would be winning. So like, what's that switch? Like, why do you do that? Like, why do you show up on a regular basis?
I show up on a regular basis because I don't want to be a half-assed version of myself. And I truly believe if you aren't showing up for yourself on a day-to-day basis, like you aren't going all in on like what you have access to, because dude, like there was a point in the mastermind where like I wasn't utilizing it to the best of my ability. Like, I'd seen some initial success. I let my ego get in the way. I'd being like, oh, I got this. Like, and then I stopped showing up. And guess what? My business stopped growing. And it was because I stopped. And it's because I stopped growing. So when it comes to like, how can you truly flip that switch? It's like, I think a lot of people aren't in enough pain yet to want to change their life. You have to truly evaluate that. And it's like, why aren't you operating with a lot more urgency? And it's something you talk a lot about. Like you talk about the price of inaction. Like what happens if you just don't like go all in and you stay where you're at, and then 20 years go by, you're old, you don't have as much energy, you have a family, you're not able to give as much into it. Like I'm in a season of my life right now, it's where I don't have kids. Like have the ability to exert a lot more energy on a day-to-day basis. That's not to say that people with kids can't see massive success, but I'm saying like you have to evaluate your current situation and realize if you don't start to actually put in a lot more effort right now, that's gonna compound. That's gonna compound in a negative way. Like the compound effect is real. It's either working for you or it's working against you.
Yeah.
And the more you consistently don't show up, the more that you're posting, hey, like, I'm posting only 3 times a week. I'm only filming once a month, and it's not really, and then you're posting old content consistently, or you're just posting B-roll stuff and you're not trying to actually get really, really good at content. Like you're gonna get smoked. You're going to get smoked by people who are showing up ruthlessly on a day-to-day basis. And those are the people that you're going to look at and be like, oh, how are those people? Like, what are they doing differently? They're working harder than you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I need to absolutely fucking toast somebody that's listening to this podcast right now. There's somebody that's commenting on the live stream being like, Clayton Snyder didn't tell us how he went from 6K to 45K. He's a fucking gatekeeper. Homie, he fucking told you. You just weren't listening. Clayton literally said it was consistency over a 4-year period of time. He fucking said it. He also said personal development was the number one thing that allowed him to go from where he was to where he's at right now. So many of you guys are looking for shortcuts, and that's why you're not successful. Like everybody comes to my content and they're like, what's the best lead gen strategy? What's the best sales tactic? What do I say on this call? And like the number one message that I wish that I could fucking communicate to every single person on social media, and I wish I could talk about it every single day, no matter what, is consistency. Be fucking consistent for 365 days. Do that for 4 years straight. Automatically, you're ahead of everybody else. That's the fucking secret. And so many people don't understand that. And they're gatekeeping. How are we fucking gatekeeping? Look at his fucking Instagram. He had 0 posts, 0 followers. Now he has 45,000. The only fucking difference is he posts 7 days a week and you don't. Period.
And it's not even gatekeeping. It's like, I could give you the best strategy in the world. If you're not consistent, it's not going to matter.
So fucking funny, dude. That it, like bothers me.
It's like, what?
Bothers the fuck out of me. He literally
and guess what, bro? Guess what, bro? The podcast ain't even over.
Podcast, dude, that bothers the fuck out of me because it's like everybody just wants the fucking secret. What's the secret? How the fuck do you do it? What are you talking about? Okay, so now that we fucking roasted somebody that wants a shortcut, I want to know. Let's talk tactics. Let's do some tactics then.
Let's do it.
Because Clayton's not a fucking gatekeeper. So Clayton, what would you say like tactically? Let's say somebody wants to make money and they're listening right now. Why do you think your Instagram turns followers into clients?
So I utilize this thing from Alex Hormozy. It's called the value equation. And a lot of people look at Alex Hormozy's stuff and they think it's like, they look at his motivational stuff, but like he has some stuff on his YouTube channel that's gold. It's literally gold, like from years ago, because people forgot that he started off in fitness.
Yeah.
And he wrote his book, $100 million offers. And this is something I live and die by. And I'll tell people it and they'll look at me like I'm weird. And I'm like, you need to utilize this like in your marketing. And it's called the value equation. So homeboy who's saying I'm gatekeeping stuff, like pull out a note pen, pull out some notes and a pen, because I've got to really drop some value for you. So the value equation is a 4-step process. And I utilize this in my marketing. And I utilize this when it comes to my pitch and my offer as well when I'm on sales calls. It's perceived likelihood of achievement. It's effort and sacrifice, dream outcome. And there's one more. And it's time delay. Time delay, effort and sacrifice, perceived likelihood of achievement, and dream outcome.
Yep.
So those 4 things I am trying to hit in every single time I post a piece of content and every single time that I'm talking to someone who wants to join my program, because those are going to be the 4 things that people are looking for when it comes to, are they going to take action with the thing that you're offering? Example. So when it comes to my specific avatar, I work with busy moms. Time to effort and sacrifice. Do they have 7 days a week to work out? No. So that's why inside of my content, I say, hey, you're only going to work out 3 days a week. Just do this, this, and this. Effort and sacrifice. Boom. Okay, I can do 3 days a week. Perceived likelihood of achievement. If they look at my page instead of my bio, hey, I've helped 505 moms. If they scroll through my page, they can see that I get really, really good results. If they look at my page compared to someone else, they're gonna be like, okay, I trust this guy because he specifically helps moms. Dream outcome. I'm specifically talking about that. Hey, you're gonna get tone. You're gonna feel a lot better with inside of your own skin. And then time delay. I'm like, hey, we're gonna make this happen, in 90 days or less. And, that's just, to make sure that we're also just getting them in the program, and then I'm delivering them the truth. And I don't feel bad about that. And they understand that too. And I talk to them about that on the calls. I'm saying, hey, you know what? You didn't get in the situation overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. But all 4 of those things I'm consistently hitting in my offer and also inside of my content. And when I really started to grasp that, and actually portray that in everything that I'm doing, that's when people were like, yo, I'm doing like knocking on a door right now. For those that can't see me, they're like, I want it. Like, I want it. And that's the game I play. The game I play on social media is I want people to message me. I want people to message me, and I want people to comment stuff so that way I can open a conversation with them, and it makes the barrier of entry a lot lower. I'm avoiding sending tons of outbound DMs. And if you're sending tons of outbound DMs and you're not getting any sort of inbound, that means your marketing isn't as it could be. That means you need to dial in your marketing and your content better. So you have to evaluate what specifically for your avatar, what is it going to hit for those people to get them to message you consistently based around those 4 topics.
You're welcome, Lyle. You're fucking welcome. One more question for you. One more question. So let's just say, Clayton, somebody's at $10,000 to $15,000 a month right now, because we gave somebody that was value for somebody that's like just getting started. I was fucking bam. Lyle's listening. I love it. Here we go. He's fucking in. I like this fucking switch around. Lyle's like, all right, I got you. Someone's at 10 to 15,000. Actually, let's say someone's at $6,000 to $10,000 a month, Clayton. Let's fucking talk to Lyle. Let's give him some value. He's here. He's listening. I value it. What would you say, somebody at $6,000 to $10,000 a month, what would you say are the most important 2 or 3 things that they should be focusing on right now if they wanted to scale?
I'm going to say something that I don't believe is talked about a lot enough. It's sales. Like, I truly don't think people, I hear everyone always talk about content consistently, which is also, it's very, very important. Content, systems, but like sales, like how good are you at persuading people? Like how consistently good are you? Like, to when I get on the phone with someone, I'm like, this person's already in.
How did you get good at sales?
Reps. I've been doing it for 4 years. I've done thousands of consults for years. And if you're someone who's like, hey, how do I get good at reps? Then you need to get on role plays. Then you need to consistently role play with people and like actually practice on how to overcome objections, because the best salespeople remove objections before they even happen. So you need to look at your sales process and say, okay, like how can I specifically remove objections, before they even happen? Asking them questions like this instead of the call, it being like, hey, like, why is right now the time to do this program? Because that way you're going to eliminate an objection down the road of them saying, hey, now is not really the best time. If you say, hey, like, why is right now the best time to do this program? They're going to say, hey, right now is the best time because I've been struggling for so long. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm like, hey, I hear you. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, hey, like I'm ready if I can do this. Like, where are you on that scale? Like, I'm at like a 7. Okay, what's going to make it go from a 7 to a 10? And if they're like, hey, it's probably just the finances. Boom. It's like, all right, so then we're gonna tackle that when that objection comes down the road. But sales is one thing when it comes to like really being able to have that confidence and having a consistent, close rate. But also as well as building your reoccurring revenue. If you're just consistently between 0 to 2 reoccurring, like you have to commit to building it, because it's going to be very, 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 very difficult for you to get to these higher level months. Not unless you're going crazy viral and you just have thousands of leads coming in for you to start hitting these higher months, because you want to make sure that you're starting each month at a higher amount, whether that's, getting your recurring, if it's at 0 right now, focus on getting it to 2,500 to 5. And then once you get to 5, focus on getting it to 7,500 to 10. Because once you start there, then you hitting 20 or you hitting 15, if your recurring's at 5, is a lot easier. Because if you reverse engineer, you only need 4 people at 2K or whatever it is.
Okay, I got. So I just want to do a quick story about Clayton, and then we're gonna fucking continue. I actually brought Clayton on the podcast a couple months ago because I wanted to talk about his turnaround. There was a period of time this year, it was around March of this year, where Clayton got hit with a fucking massive tax bill. I think it was like a $30,000 or $40,000 tax bill. And because of that, he messaged me and he's like, yo, B, like, I'm not going to be able to continue with the mastermind this month because, I'm like, my reoccurring is not very good. And, I just had to pay this $40,000 bill and I need to take a break. So I was like, I fucking got you. Like, I'm going to take care of your mastermind for this month. Like, I'll pay for it for you. Just like stay in the program. And he turned his shit around. Now, for the next 2 to 3 months, Clayton kind of, for lack of a better term, ate shit in terms of like, he just built his reoccurring and he wasn't selling paid in fulls. He was only selling recurring. He was only selling recurring. He was only selling recurring. He built a base of like 20 to 30K recurring. And then he started selling paid in fulls, which is why for the last 2 or 3 months, it's been 70,000, 70,000. And what are you at so far this month, Clay?
It's going to be, I'm over 50 this month, right around over 50. And I had a procedure done last week where I didn't work for a week. So it would be 70. So we'll probably be a little bit short of that this month, but
I don't think you're not going to be short of that. I'm going to speed greatness over you. It's going to be 70.
Okay.
But like, guys, like this is a guy that did a fucking massive turnaround in literally like 6 months, 7 months. So if you're listening to this right now, like I want you to understand it doesn't matter where your business is at right now. Like you can see a massive fucking increase in a short period of time. Now, I do want to do one more question for the higher level people because there's a guy named Kieran tuning in and he actually asked a great question. What would you say to somebody who's at 20 to 25K a month to get to 50 to 70K per month and already has a team? Is there any big mindset or systematic shifts that you made personally?
It's a great question. In terms of your systems, like I would really ensure that the only thing you're doing is content and sales, that you're completely out of inside of the business. Like you're not checking your trainerized messages, like you are updating programs, like, you are actually like fully only focused on generating income. And dude, if you're reoccurring at 20 to 25, only sell in fulls. Like only sell in fulls and only sell large in full packages.
When you say large in full packages, like what do you mean?
Like $3,000.
$3,000 for the year, right?
Yeah, for the year, or like whatever, $3,000 for 6 months, whatever. Like I wouldn't be selling $1,500 packages because it's going to take a lot of those in order for you to get, to the 50 to 70 range. Like compared to if you're selling $3,000 consistently, like you reverse engineer it, it's really not that much. Like because 10 times 3 is 30 on top of 25, that's 55 right there. Or 15 times 3 is 45, times 25, you're right there. So it's like 15 people at 3K. If you reverse engineer it, it's not that much. Like you can do that. That's, it's like right around like 4 clients a week, 5 clients a week. Like you can 100% do that. I mean, my math might even be messed up.
No, that's good. So Kieran's actually here and he's like, that's actually good advice because I'm currently, my full-time role is sales and content. So like, how would you double down on that? If that's already in place, what would you do to double down on that?
Right. What I would do to double down on it is like, obviously there could be some more back and forth here, but it's like maybe your content isn't good enough. Like if you're not having enough sales calls, like how many sales calls are you having on a week-to-week basis? So like if you're saying, hey, content and sales is my role, like you want to make sure that you get to a point to where you have consistent sales calls, like 3 to 5 a day. Like if you want to make sure that you're getting to that mark to ensure, that you are able to bring in a consistent client amount, on a week-to-week basis. And that there's a lot of other variables you could go to, like boosting a post, making sure that you got a consistent lead flow coming in. So that way you have that.
Cool. Boom. I love that. Clayton, this was super fucking valuable. Is there any final pieces of nuggets or tidbits that you might give out to somebody that's watching this that eventually wants to climb to $500,000 in a year? Like, is there anything that you would say to these people that are watching that like want to grow like you are?
I truly think it's a decision to go pro. I really think it is. I think it's a decision to go pro in all areas inside of your life. And I truly think it does start with your fitness. And I think it starts with your daily process. I know we talked a lot about tactical. I know we talked a lot about strategy. And I know Homeboy turned around for us.
But Lyle's still here. Lyle's still fucking here.
Lyle, shout out to you, Lyle. Shout out to you, Lyle. I appreciate you hanging in with us and getting value. But I truly think it's a decision to go pro. And also too, just like never letting your foot off the gas. I think I've seen it, dude. I've seen it inside of the program. I've been in the program for a lot of years, to where like, or just people in my circle sometimes where it's like they're doing really, really well, then they let their foot off the gas. And I truly believe you just can't, like, regardless of how well things are going, it's like, hey, like what you've done, like what I've done the last 3 months is like last 5 months, 6 months, what I've done this year is great. But guess what? It doesn't matter. Like, because I have to keep doing, that's not going to change what's happening going forward. Like I have to continually show up on a day-to-day basis. And also with my people who have teams, like with the guy who is in there who has a team or whatever, if you don't grow, your team will leave.
Yes.
Like they will.
Yes.
Like you have to continue to grow and like show the opportunity of what's available, for your team members, because they're not going to stick around, if they don't see any sort of growth happening. And this is another thing too, if you're between that, 5 to 15 mark and you have some team members maybe on the back end and like, you're just like, hey, I'm going to hang out here. It's like you don't want to lose that team member.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to make sure that you're growing and consistently giving that person an opportunity, to grow into a company with you. Like my team members are bought in, like they're in. Like, hey, like I'm the mom squad for life. Like that's what they say, like mom squad for life. Like because like we're going to big places. We're taking down beach.
Yeah. Dude, what's funny is I fuck with that mindset so hard. And like, guys, I'm a big believer that like if one person is doing it, it can be done. We've got coaches inside of our coaching program, Don Lamb making $500,000 a month, Chanel Wheel making $300,000 a month. Abraham Anderson, who's actually one of our new students, is pulling in $250,000 a month. Trent Harrison, $150,000 a month. So like there's so many students that have proven that this works over and over again. And Clayton is now climbing to those ranks because he's showing what's possible. And the reason I fuck with Clayton's story so hard is like Clayton was just like you guys like a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15K a month. And now he's at $70,000 a month. And like everything you talked about in this podcast is what helped him get there. One final note that I want to end on, because I heard this because one of the things that I resonate with you as well, Clayton, is like, I listen to success motivation all day, every day. Like when I'm working, success motivation. When I'm in the car, success motivation. When I start my day, success motivation. Like that's what I listen to every single day. And today I heard something that really clicked and resonated. And it was Jordan Peterson. And he was saying that like, there's no such thing as stasis. Like there's no such thing as staying in the same place, because when you stay in the same place, the world moves around you and there's 24 hours in a day and time keeps moving forward. So if you are staying in the exact same place, the world continues to move. So there's no such thing as staying stagnant. It's going backwards. And that's why for me, it's like, I'm of the same attitude. That's why I've done almost 1,200 podcast episodes now. That's why I post 3 times a week, 3 times a day, every day, 7 days a week. I don't fucking miss, because I love you, but I don't want you to catch me. Like I like love you so much, but I don't want you to catch me, because if you catch me, then I haven't done my job properly. Like I'm a leader, right? Like I'm supposed to lead, and having people like you on my tail means that I need to continue to keep myself sharp. I need to continue to keep myself in the game. And that's the attitude that I take with business, bro. It's like, that's how I grow. It's like every single year, I'm always like, yes, I'm so grateful that we hit 6 million last year, but I want to hit 10 this year. And I'm not just doing it because of the money. I'm doing it because I have people like you that are on my fucking tail that are learning business from me. And like, I need to level up. So like that mindset of like, I always keep my foot on the gas is something that I fuck with. And I have the exact same mentality.
It's funny you brought that up, because I texted Trent Harrison that like a month or 2 ago. And I was like, hey, dude, I was like, I hope I never catch you. I was like, you're pushing me to get better. Like, I'm super inspired by you. And I was like, I know you're going to keep growing, but like, I hope I never catch you. I was like, I know that you're always pushing me, because he's just such an inspiration. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's just such a good dude.
He actually tuned in. He tuned in 10 minutes ago. I don't know if he's still watching, but he did tune in.
Deserves all the success he's having. 100%.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. If you guys got value from this episode, just want to let you guys know that we are doing Black Friday Ascension Week. So if you're in the 10K Mastermind, you want to extend, you get 40% off. If you're in the Millionaire Mastermind, you extend, you get 40% off. If you're in the 10K Mastermind, you want to move to the Millionaire Mastermind, you also get 40% off. Clayton, where do these homies find you if they want to watch your content and learn from you?
If they want to find me, C.Snyder Coaching is my Instagram. That's where you can find me. It's the best place to find me.
Cool. All right, bro. I appreciate you. I hope everyone that is watching this live stream has the best day of their entire life. Hope everyone's that's listening to this podcast has the best day of their entire life. And we'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.